When they grow older, you don't have a private life anymore. They stay awake longer than you. Today in Town Reddit Stories. What is something nobody warns people about enough when it comes to having kids? Once they get out of the toddler stage, it can become extremely worrisome and time-consuming to parent them to become good people. They start asking questions, and they form their own opinions. It's a very delicate balance between trying to get them to listen to important things and trying to get them to become more independent. It makes you think you are constantly messing it all up. It can be very hard to find a balance. Reply: they are always listening. They know more than they can communicate. They simply don't have the words and concepts to share what they do grasp. This will lead to a lot of frustration. The "they are always listening" bit, fuck, so many people don't understand this. My sister has such a shit temper, and the way she behaves and reacts to things makes me worry so much for my nephews. I don't want them to grow up seeing that and going, well, this is what my mom does, so it's normal. I lived with them for 6 months, and in that time, I did everything I could to make sure I always said I was wrong. I don't know, let's find out. And when something irritating happens, you just go, well, darn it. That's alright, or whatever works for the situation. They are your understudy for your constant role of the good person. They'll memorize your lines and delivery, and reproduce it whenever the script prompts them. It reminds me of the time my mom punished me for using phrases and vocabulary she used constantly. I can vividly remember 3 instances of this. All happened in a public place. I was so freaking confused. When they grow older, you don't have a private life anymore. They stay awake longer than you. Reply: never thought of this. The later part of the evening is my time usually. Used to be my time as well. Since becoming a parent, my time is 4 to 6 a.m. One reason why you start waking up early once you're older, probably. Yes. Morning coffee and then a hot shower in complete solitude is bliss. Strange how something so simple can literally save your sanity and bring you peace, as long as you don't accidentally step on a Matchbox car or a Lego with bare feet when exiting the shower. Reply: whenever we're trying to do something sneaky, my wife and I always say that having kids is like having parents. True. My husband and I take turns sneaking into the kitchen to eat ice cream and donuts sometimes. Can you really call yourself a parent if you've never stuffed 3 cookies down your throat in the bathroom as fast as possible while little fingers poke through under the door? Reply: my wife and I talked about this an hour ago while lying in bed. We feel that every single interaction, no matter how small, is a crossroads of sorts. You have to quickly make decisions on what you feel gives them the best chance of becoming good humans. Infancy through 3 years is almost a honeymoon phase. However, when your almost 4-year-old daughter has a meltdown over wearing pajamas or because we won't let her eat 4 cheese sticks, it's tough to decide how to handle it because more weight is added to the decision the older they get. Are we spoiling her? Are we being too hard on them? Are they feeling an emotion they don't recognize? In the end, the world will mold them into who they are going to be. I just get a say in what material is used. There's a very good chance they won't turn out like you think. Reply: people seem to often forget that they're raising people as independent thinking individuals whose actions, values, personalities, interests, and capabilities will potentially be completely unlike yours. I've seen a lot of parents struggle hard with that, and frankly, that's a possibility you should have made your peace with before you became a parent. Emo. I just saw a social media post that said something like, "Do you just want a baby or do you want to raise a human?" It was pointing out that everybody wants that cute baby, but that part lasts 1 year. You have to be prepared to raise people who will go out and do good things and disappoint you and screw up and everything in between. Reply: this perspective helps me as a kindergarten teacher. I am teaching tiny humans, but they are still people. They will spend the majority of their lives as adults. I often think of them in this way, baby adults, and it helps me to treat them respectfully. I try and give them choice, promote independence, etc. But I still dole out the hugs and compliments to nurture them. You have to parent the kid you have. The books are fine for ideas, your experience, friends' thoughts, pediatricians, therapists. But at the end of it all, you have this complicated little person you're in charge of with their own preferences, feelings, insecurities, abilities, and you have to do what works for them and your family and, of course, also raise someone who isn't a blight on humanity or menace to society. Reply: as my mom says, the kid hasn't read the book. Her parents tried to do everything by the book with her and she hated it. She was supposed to have pigtails, wear dresses, learn piano and not go climb trees and play soccer/football. She saved pocket money to get her hair cut short and her dad almost hit her for it. Did she stop pushing to be herself? Nope. She is a strong woman, but boy, does she have some scars on her soul. With her own 3 kids, she watched what interests they developed and then helped them explore it further, and to not forget to keep an open mind about other possible hobbies, sports, arts, etc. I have no idea how to thank her properly for this. How little coal they can actually mine a day. Reply: also, shit gardener, terrible cooks, lazy maids. Generally, I have to give them 0.5 stars as laborers. Really, they should be ashamed of themselves. Good with machines, though. Their little arms get right up in those gears. How important the years between 7 and 12 are for building a bond, one that lasts into the teenage years. They are so hard to listen to at that age with all the starts and stops in conversation, and they talk about the most boring things, but it is so important to listen and converse at those ages. They will grow into teenagers that will talk to you, and be fun to talk to, but only if you can get through long boring conversations about Minecraft or whatever thing they are currently into. Reply: I can remember being about 12 and wanting to share my biggest interest at the time with my mom, that being Bionicle, by reading to her all the books I had been collecting with my allowance. Sometimes she would involuntarily fall asleep, but my God, she tried so hard to show an interest. I really didn't appreciate it at the time, focused on all the times she yawned or fell asleep, but now, 16 years later, we both remember it fondly as the bonding time it really was. My dad had no idea who the characters in Bionicle were, but by God, he was going to listen to us intently and read the Bionicle magazine subscription we had after we did to try and figure it out. Everything takes longer than you thought it would. Leaving the house with a baby or toddler takes an extra 10 minutes minimum to make sure they haven't shit themselves. You have a change of clothes and extra nappies, milk, food, toys, etc. Strapping them into your car seat or pram/stroller is like wrestling with an uncooperative, strangely strong yet ultimately fragile octopus. Everyone says that they won't resort to screen time or frozen meals like chicken nuggets. In my experience, yes you will. Because you cannot keep a house tidy, have clean clothes, make meals, do grocery shopping, work, without compromising a few things in order to maintain sanity. There's only so many hours in the day and so thinly you can spread yourself across the rest of your life. You may have to compromise a few parts of your life. Heading out to a friend's barbecue now comes with limitations. You won't be able to stay for a long time, and you might not get to talk to your friend/s as much as you wanted, because you now have a small person constantly tugging on your leg to look at this and can I have and can we go home? And what's that? And stop talking to them and listen to me. Obviously it all depends on you and your kid, but it can be tricky to juggle. They do stupid shit all the time. There's no self-preservation, there's no logic, there's no forethought or consideration of consequences. They do weird things and there's no reason for any of it. They will take a direct route to whatever they want, and if that means walking across a mountain of toys, clothes, books, rocks, water, mud, then that's just the way it is. At the end of the day, you miss them. Regardless of how your day went, or how close you were to screaming or just shutting the door and walking away, when they close their eyes and go to sleep, you cannot wait to see them again and try again. Kids are hard. But we were all there once, and we were just as annoying as they are. Thank you for listening to another B-Town Reddit Stories episode. Hit the subscribe button and check out our channel for more stories. Let us know your opinion about this topic in the comments.